Greetings, fellow humans. You know me as Iceman Caesar, and this is what's up in the world today. Going to be discussing the Bell Let's Talk initiative, and also going into a little bit more about mental health, which is what Bell Let's Talk is all about. For those that don't know, Bell Let's Talk is an initiative started by the company Bell, and it's just one day a year set aside, usually January 31st, to raise awareness and money towards mental health issues. And it's just a really great day. You know, it helps everyone see just how many people are going through it. A lot of us have close friends and family that are going through mental health issues. So having a day like Bell Let's Talk is just really great at raising awareness and raising money. It's done a lot of both, and it's just been a really great thing that we've seen. It started here in Canada, Bell being a Canadian company, and you know it's definitely reaching out to the rest of the world. We see people sharing it all across social media, and every time you share it, you know, I think they donate 5 cents to the cause. So it's just a really great thing that's brought a lot of awareness and raised a lot of money. But for me lately, I've been feeling pretty frustrated about things like Bell Let's Talk, and the reason is that it's great to see everybody have so much passion and compassion on days like Bell Let's Talk for everybody going through mental health issues and towards getting better facilities and things like that to deal with mental health stuff. As great as that is to see everyone coming together on Bell Let's Talk Day and things like that, it's just frustrating to see the other 364 days to see everyone kind of sometimes forget about the things that they were talking about on that day. And like sometimes a lot of the jokes and the things we share on social media contradict and go against what we were trying to promote on Bell Let's Talk Day. And and so instead of helping people, we're pushing them closer towards the edge, and that's the last thing we need to be doing, especially in today's day and age where there's so many things that you seem to be trying to push people closer and closer to that edge. So we as fellow humans got to help each other, and we just can't be sharing and participating in the mock and ridicule of people. And the one specific joke and meme is gets me riled up because I've seen it shared a lot, and it seems like a lot of people are talking like they agree with it. And the meme is it's separated into about 3 or 4 different sections. And the first one, there's a picture. It says in the 1700s teenagers were doing something. I forget what it says. But the second one is in the 1800s, teenagers were working slave labor, for slave wages. And in 1900s, teenagers were, in war zones, killing each other. And in the 2000s, teens need safe spaces. And it's basically saying that, it's basically almost glorifying, slave labor and war, and mocking and ridiculing these people these days that have found their environments have created mental health distress, so they need some things called safe spaces. And so to mock and ridicule people that are in a position where they feel they need a safe place is just going to push them closer and closer to the edge. It's not going to help them. It's not going to do anything positive. It's just going to be all negative. And just I've seen that meme shared a lot, and like this generation coming up who is the subject of the mock and ridicule of that meme, they're the ones that are going to be building this world going into the future. And it's going to be they're going to have a very important job with dealing with different things like climate change. And as the world and earth changes, they're going to have to figure out a lot of ways to adapt and deal with things going forward. So we need to lift them up and try and get them to be the best versions of themselves, and mocking and ridiculing them for some of their struggles is definitely not the way to do it. And really, when you think about it, the people fighting in those wars were fighting so that the teenagers of the next generations could be in safe spaces instead of bunkers. Like they weren't fighting for this endless war machine that we're in right now, where it just never ends, and there's always a new thing to go against. I mean, once they got enough out of Al-Qaeda, they changed it to ISIS, and once they get enough out of ISIS, they'll change it to something else, and it just keeps going on and on. This war machine we're dealing with these days never stops. And like memes like this almost try to glorify it, like that's what teenagers should be doing. But I know I will. That's one end of the spectrum. But I will go to the opposite end and say I will say that toughness and tough is a quality that's becoming harder and harder to find, especially as our world advances. And the younger that you are in this world, the harder it's going to be to find that toughness and bring the tough out of you. Because as human beings, we like to be comfortable, we're always looking for ways to make our life easier, and we're very, very good at figuring out ways to make our life easier. Like when we have a problem and we need to figure out a way to get by it, we can usually find a pretty good answer to it. And like when we were walking around and doing things with bare feet, we did that enough to finally saying, you know what, this just doesn't cut it anymore. We need something to make this a little bit easier. So we created shoes, and we put shoes on our feet, and that enabled us to to walk and run and to build and do everything with our feet a lot easier. And like we don't like sitting in a freezing cold car or running out to a cold car to try and get it started, and like arriving to your destination by the time your car is just warmed up. So we created Command Start. And that just goes into, we're very good at making life easier for ourselves, but this life is all about balance. So making things easier, it's going to have it has its benefits, but there's also going to be a balance to it. And whereas you invent shoes, and shoes make walking and running and things a lot easier, but the balance of that is your feet are not going to be as hardened and tough. So if you lose your shoes and have to walk with just bare feet and walk without your shoes, it's going to be tougher, because your feet are going to be soft and not used to it, and they're going to be a lot more susceptible to damage. So it's we're always looking to make our life easier, and we can succeed a lot of the time, but there's always a balance to it. And really there is a point to where once we create the best version of something, we can just stop there, because I know that kind of goes against capitalism, which our society is built on, but another video for another time. But really, it's like the only way to build strength is through struggle. So if you make things too easy and take all the struggle out of it, you're not going to build any strength, and you're not going to get the things out of it that you need. So there is a point where you can go too far in making things easier for life. And like sometimes making life easier is the right thing to do. Creating shoes for our feet was the right thing to do in making life easier, because it allowed us to build our society and to to go further and to push our limits further. And shoes was a good thing. Our feet, yes, they became softer, but the way we built our society, we don't need to have tough, hardened feet all the time. So that balance is okay. Making our life easier by creating shoes was the right thing to do and made it easier. And so I think that the shoes and feet analogy is a really good analogy for life and mental health. And so hopefully you're able to follow along and stay with me. So our physical selves, we are the feet, and our mental health is the shoes. And so some of us are blessed to walk through life, our entire journey, with our shoes intact. We don't lose them. We don't lose the normalcy of our mental health. Our entire journey, we've been able to keep the normalcy of our mental health, and that's how. And we were able to have that blessing to walk through our whole entire life like that. Now there are some people who unfortunately are not blessed to get through their whole life with the normalcy of their mental health, with their shoes. Some people lose their shoes. They lose the normalcy of their mental health. Sometimes it's a traumatic event. Sometimes it's a tragedy. Sometimes it's a build-up of little things. Sometimes it's a toxic environment. There's any number of things that can create a reason for somebody to lose their shoes, to lose the normalcy of your mental health. And once you lose your shoes, now you're forced to walk. The journey doesn't stop. You have to keep moving forward. So you lost your shoes, but you can't stop. So you're moving forward. And now without the normalcy of your mental health, without your shoes, your feet are soft. They're not used to it. So they're getting damaged. And with every step forward, without your shoes, without the normalcy of your mental health, you're being damaged. But you have to keep moving forward. That you can't stop. And so then it moves to, there's another group of people. Some people, as they move forward and their feet are being damaged, some of them see that their feet harden again, and the calluses are created, and they toughen up, and they're able to finally walk a little bit normal. Not like they were with shoes, but some kind of closer to normal, and a lot easier than they were when they first lost their shoes. They're able to toughen up. And that to me is the people that they lost the normalcy of their mental health, and they haven't really been able to 100% fix or solve the issues, but they've found a way to deal with it, and in dealing with it almost found a new normal to where they can move forward and not feel like they're being damaged with every step, but at the same time they have mental health issues to deal with every day, and they found a way to do it. And those are the people I feel that are still walking forward close to normal, just but without shoes. They just have seen their feet harden, and to me that's just like, you've found a way to deal with your mental health issues, not get rid of them or solve them. And so that would be the next group of people. Now, there's fortunately the last group of people would be, and it's getting larger and larger, unfortunately, but that's why we have to try and work to shrink this group. But it's the ones that their feet become damaged to the point to where they're dry, they're cracked, they're bloody, they're broken, and they physically cannot move forward anymore. Their mental health, without the normalcy of their mental health, they've just been, it's you have to keep moving forward, but without your mental health, it's hard because something's wrong, things aren't right, things don't feel right when you're out there, but sometimes you don't even know how to identify what to do to stop it. And so you're feeling all these things, this damage, and you have to keep moving forward and trying to be normal, but you've got this constant damage that's always it's getting worse. And unfortunately there's people that get to the point where they just physically cannot move forward anymore, or the ones that they just cannot bring themselves through to go through the pain and struggles that another step forward will bring them without their mental health, and so they decide to stop their journey. And I think we know what that leads to. We don't want to focus on that, but and it's because of these people that those of us that we're blessed to go through our life with our shoes intact, and those of us that have found the strength to see our feet and our mental health harden again and get some kind of normalcy. It's our responsibility to reach out and help these people that are struggling, that are damaged, that feel like they can't move forward anymore, and they just it is up to us to help lift them up, and to not ridicule them, to not degrade them, to not leave them behind and ignore them. We have to be the ones to help lift them up and use teaching and encouragement to help them to get through and to either find a new pair of shoes, fix their mental health issues, and find a normalcy of their mental health again, or find a way to toughen their feet, find a way to deal with their mental health issues on a daily basis, and move forward without damaging it. But it's our responsibility to help people get there. And that's the thing. Unfortunately, once you lose the normalcy of your mental health, once you lose your shoes, you're never going to get the same ones back. You'll never go back to exactly what that person you were. You'll never go back to that same normal. But that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Most of the times that's a great thing, because now that you've gone through that, you've gone through the worst and survived. So now anything less than that, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to be intimidated by anything less than what you've gone through. Even the things that even something equal or greater. You've shown that the worst things put in your path, you've been able to find the strength and survive. And now that you've identified the issues you have and worked to fix them, that you can move forward. And it's and that's the thing, by knowing what you went through and knowing the strength that you have in yourself to survive, even though you're not going to be the same person you were, now that you know your strength, that person before didn't know for sure that if they were faced with the worst, that they could survive and get through it. But this new normal that you are now, that person does that person does know, and they know that they can get through and even the worst that comes through. And even if they're struggling, they have people that are there to be a shoulder to lean on, or an ear to listen, or just anything that they need. They know that they'll be able to get through it. And we're not going to be able to help people by laughing at them or being degrading toward them, or sharing memes that are focused on mocking or ridiculing or just bringing people down. People aren't going aren't going to be able to lift themselves up from that place. That is coming from negativity. You know, like trying to do something just to get someone to stop mocking you or making fun of you that's a negative place. Like, you know, but instead, if we're teaching and encouraging people to get through their situation, like showing them how to do it. This is how you get through the situation. And then once you've shown them how, don't do it for them, but encourage them. So you know what, you can do this. You have the strength. You know, like you just have to do this, this, and this, and then you'll get there. And that is how somebody can lift. That is coming from a positive place. That change will be coming from a positive place. So they can start to lift themselves up, and that's how and then we can show them how to gain new shoes, to gain a new normalcy for their mental health. Or we can show them how to toughen up and deal with mental health issues before they can be 100% fixed or solved, and that way they can move forward without being damaged. And that's coming from a place of positivity. So mocking and ridicule and degradation, that's not going to bring anybody anywhere. That's coming from a place of negativity. Teaching and encouragement, that's coming from a place of positivity. And that's the thing with teaching people and encouraging them. A big part of it is letting them fall, letting them fail. And you know, and as you know, it seems in society we are doing everything possible to put people in situations to where they can't fall or they can't fail. And that is just that, like, it goes back to, there's no way to build strength without struggle. And that's the thing. As human beings, we want to be comfortable. We don't like change. We don't like different. We like the same. We like things that we're comfortable with, and that is why change. You have to be uncomfortable to create change, and that is because discomfort creates change, and change creates progress. You can't. And you need all three to get there. You're not going to create progress without discomfort, because if you're comfortable, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like that's the philosophy. So discomfort creates change, which creates progress. And you know, as long as you prepare for the extreme consequences, and you know, like, make sure people aren't going to get seriously hurt or injured or anything worse. But I mean, like, as long as you prepare for the serious consequences, I mean, life isn't all sunshine and rainbows. You're gonna get bumps and bruises. You're gonna get scratches and scrapes. But as long as you prepare for the most extreme consequences, you can let people fall and fail. It's okay if they fall and are a little bit sore and they get bumped or they get bruises. And you know, like, anybody that's never done anything great has always at some point had to pick themselves up off the mat. And you know, find that strength to continue, even when they don't think they can, and when they think maybe think it's better to just stay down. When you find the strength to pull yourself up and to get through it, that is where the best change comes. That's where the best progress comes, and that's where true strength comes from. And that's, you know, that I say it seems like at times we're so worried about the extreme consequences that we just try to take away all of them. We try to take away any discomfort, you know, any falls or failures people can have. So, you know, I mean, people can feel bad. Like, I mean, people can fail and you know, cry about it and feel bad, and you know, like, but that's not going to ruin the rest of their life. That's going to be a place to give them, you know, like, you know what? I don't want to go back to this place, so I'm going to try harder next time. I'm going to put in a little bit more work. I'm going to, you know, strategize a little bit more. I'm going to ask for a little bit more help. I'm going to talk to someone that's gone through the same thing and you know, see if they can give me any advice so that I don't end up in this situation the next time. And so that's the thing. Like, if you don't fall and you don't fail, then you're never going to succeed. And if you, with the falls and the failures, make it when you succeed means something, and that's where gaining the strength from it comes in. And that's the thing. Even though we want to keep our loved ones and everyone away from, you know, fails and falls and discomfort, there's no cure for it. You cannot ever keep somebody 100% away from it. Like, life, like I say, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. You're going to have situations that make you feel bad, and you're going to have to do things that you don't want to do. And that, I think, goes into a big problem our society has right now. You know, the demon of selfishness that's attached to every single one of us, that just, you know, it seems like as soon as anybody these days gets into a situation or faces something that, you know, is something that they don't want to do, you know, they just completely react in a negative way about it. Have a tantrum, give people attitude, give people a hard time, just stomp and snort and just absolutely everything they can to let everyone know they are not happy about this, they don't want to do it. And nobody, it seems like a lot of times lately we don't ever say, what, I don't want to do this, but this person does a lot for me, or this organization does a lot, or like these people come to my events a lot, so I'm gonna look at the best parts of what I'm doing and focus on that and have a good time and put on a good spirit and just put some good energy out there. And I think that demon of selfishness creeps up in us a lot. Even myself, I have to watch that all the time. But it's like every time we get into a situation where we don't want to do something, we react very negatively and very strongly, and it's life is going to give you discomfort. We can't save each other from it 100% of the time, and life is about balance. Like if you're going through bad times, it's going to balance out with the good. And if it doesn't balance out with the good, then that is all due to Satan. And that means Satan is attacking you very, very hard to make sure nothing good comes into your life. And that is his goal for everybody that he's attached to. He wants to fill your life with so much bad and so much negative that you end it yourself, or that it is impossible for you to become the best version of yourself. Because that's the thing. One of the gifts Satan has is that when he sees a soul, he can see the best version of that person. And the people that he attacks the most, the people that he attacks the strongest are the people that can have the greatest impact against him and his plans. So when he sees people, the best version of people, the ones that can have the biggest impact, he attacks them the strongest. So if you feel like in your life it's always bad and you're always going through bad situations, you never get it balanced out with good, and that means Satan is attacking you hard, and that means the best version of you could do something so great that it would just have such a great impact on him and his plans that he's attacking you this hard. So I pray so strongly for you, and I just hope that you're able to become the best version of yourself, connect to God and Jesus, because we need as much help as we can possibly get in this war versus Satan and his demons. And that's the thing, if you are being attacked and life doesn't ever feel like it balances out to the good for you, I just pray that you find that connection to God and Jesus, and you make that connection and become the best version of yourself, because we need all the help we can get. And that is why Satan attacks people so strongly, to keep them from the best versions of themselves. And the more that we stay away from ridicule and degradation and focus on encouragement and teaching, the more chances we have are people to have a success in dealing with their mental health issues and becoming the best versions of themselves. And then that way we can all help each other build the best versions of society. And that is the main goal. Like if we could all see just how great the best version of society would be for everybody, we would not be worried about any of the things that are holding us back. There would be nothing that holds us back. We would be 100% focused on getting to the best version of society. And so, the more that we're reaching out to each other and just stop with the ridicule and the mocking and the degradation, and just focus on the teaching and encouragement, and help people connect to God and Jesus, we can help everyone get to the best versions of themselves and create the best version of themselves. And so now, just finally leading into the end, I want to bring it back to Bell Let's Talk a bit. It's so refreshing to have a day like this and just to see how many people have the desire to help. And not either way, like monetarily or just support, a shoulder to lean on, an ear to listen to, a voice of support. There's so many people that are willing to help, and there are so many people that need our help. And that's why it's kind of frustrating to me to see that the mental health initiatives have only gone so far. I really want to see a day where we have mental health hospitals set up in the exact same way we have hospitals for the sick and the injured. If there was a place that was exactly like our hospital for the sick or injured, except geared towards mental health, man, how much better would our world be, and how many more people would we be able to save from the extreme consequences of mental health struggles? I'm not holding my breath right now, because mental health hospitals are definitely not coming soon, because you got the Manitoba government closing hospitals in Manitoba when the nurses and doctors and everybody on the front lines are begging them not to, saying, you know, we need these hospitals open. We can't handle the overstaff. Like, the people need them. Like, it's just ridiculous. I mean, if any politician suggests closing a hospital, that should be grounds for immediate dismissal, no questions asked, because that is going against the people. Who do the hospitals help? The people. Who are the politicians supposed to represent? The people. If a politician is closing a hospital, that's going against the people. That is betraying the trust of the people. If the people are saying we need our hospitals open, like, I mean, how can you have too many hospitals? Like, we are not at a point in society where we can say, you know what, we have too many hospitals. We are in excess of hospitals. Let's close some. Like, give me a break. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little off topic. It just really riles me up, but you know, I really want to see mental health hospitals come into realization. So the fact that they're closing hospitals for the sick and injured just shows how far away we are from getting to that point. But really, if somebody finds themselves in a situation where they're in a state of emergency with their mental health, where can they go? Like, where, I mean, going to the normal hospital for the sick and injured, you're not going to get the proper help that you need if you go in there and you're just saying, I'm having a bad day and, you know, I need to talk. Like, that's not, I mean, I don't think they're not going to turn you away, but you're just, the right system is not in place to help people like that. And I mean, getting professional help to talk to somebody, psychiatrist, psychologist, you know, that's sometimes hundreds of dollars an hour. I mean, once you get to a certain income level, you can't afford to pay these prices per hour to talk to someone professionally, so you go without, and you don't get that rational voice that can sometimes be the difference between having mental health issues and not having them. So, and these doctors would be the ones that are in the mental health hospitals. And you know, and if somebody's environment is creating a mental health issues, you know, where can they go where they can just, you know, have a break, or just, you know, be in a safe place without sometimes bringing the law into it and all the problems and hassles that can bring, where, you know, when sometimes you just need a break, and sometimes it's not a problem that requires all that. Sometimes it just need a break, maybe a different voice, maybe a different perspective. But if somebody's going through a state of emergency with their mental health, there is just no place that I know, where I feel that people could be, that know where they could go to get some help with it. So, you know, if we could create a mental health hospital, this is a place where people could go. It's a safe place for anybody that's having mental health distress or is in a state of emergency with their mental health. They can come, and you know, they would have psychologists and psychiatrists on staff. You'd have to put all the proper safety measures in place, but you know, people would come and talk to the nurses at the desk to let them know what their problem is, and that the nurses could send them to the appropriate section to where, you know, if they need, you know, short-term help, just, you know, maybe just need a couple hours to talk to somebody, like that may be it, you know. Or if somebody's having a situation where their environment is creating their mental health distress and they need a safe place for the night or maybe 2 nights, you know, they could come in there and be admitted to this place, and you know, it'd all be covered by the Health Canada, and you know, like, we, you know, just make sure people know this doesn't have to be long-term, only for long-term issues. Like, this could definitely be, you know, for anything, months, weeks, days, hours, minutes, like anything that you need help with. The mental health hospital would be there for it, and it would have a place where if you needed to be admitted for a day or more, you know, they could admit you in, and then, you know, figure out where to go from there and get you the appropriate help, and, you know, help create, you know, improve your environment and stuff. But it's just, you know, having a place like that where people could know, they have a safe place that people could know they could go to if they were in a state of emergency with their mental health or having mental health distress. It's just, that is where I really want to move to as a society, creating these mental health hospitals that are just set up in the same way as our hospitals for the sick and injured, except, you know, geared more towards the mental health aspect. And you know, the bottom line is, we don't have any places like this really that I know of, but we need places like this, and we have to be moving towards that as a society. And you know, with all the money raised and all the awareness from Bill Let's Talk and I really feel like we should be able to move forward to at least, even if we can only build one of these, one building in one hospital in one city to start. Like, at least that's a start. And you have to start somewhere to build off of something. You can't, if you don't build the foundation, you can't ever build your house. So, we have to build a foundation somewhere. And then once we get the ball rolling, that would open up opportunities for rich good Samaritans to help out, or even the government to step in even more, or other charities or other things to step up and start contributing money to building these mental health hospitals and stuff like that. But I really feel like we need to start moving forward towards things like this. And when I think about my ideas for a mental health hospital and all the different things you could put in place to help people, it just makes me so excited. And I don't want to wait. I really want to just move it forward as fast as possible, because I know how many people are dealing with mental health issues, how many people need help, and I really feel like this could help people a lot. So instead of standing back and sometimes the society just, like crossing our arms and expecting people to help themselves and to heal themselves, we just need to come together and just, forget about all the things that make us do the negative things, like ridicule and mocking and degrading people, and just focusing on teaching and encouraging. If you see someone struggling with toughness, teach them how to be tough. Show them. Everyone just assumes toughness is a natural thing that everyone's just supposed to know and comes to them. No, some people need to be shown. This is how you be tough in this situation. This is how you get through this situation. In the end, you'll build toughness in you. You'll build strength. And when you see someone, don't just mock them. Like, encourage them. Say, you're doing a great job. Like, just do this. Like, when you see somebody struggling or you see somebody fail, don't just jump to the negative. Talk about what they did right first. Show them what they did right. Then move to what they did wrong and show them how to fix it. That way, you're not just jumping to the negative where they're automatically thinking bad. You're promoting the positive. You're building up the best things, something good that they've done, and that way they can feel good and build off of a place of feeling good. So when you tell them, okay, now this is what you did wrong. This is how you fix it. Then they can say, okay, I did this right. Now I just need to keep doing this. I fix this, bam, I can do everything. And so that is the process of getting there, and it lets them get there with a foundation off of positivity, not negativity. So I just really need, and I don't want to get rid of jokes either. I'm not saying that. But there's lots of things to make jokes about. If you're trying to create a joke, start making jokes about things that are strong. Like, that can, strong people, strong products, strong things, strong whatever. They can handle it, take it. Like, don't focus your jokes on weak people that are going to humiliate and degrade. Like, strong people can take a joke, and they're in a position to where it's not going to affect them. But if somebody is not in that affect them, that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with them or that it's a bad thing. It just means that they're going through something, and you should have the respect not to try and push them towards the edge by throwing this joke at them. Jokes are supposed to be funny and create happiness and positivity. They're not supposed to make people feel humiliated and embarrassed. So focus your jokes on the strong and, lift up the weak. And then, when we're all strong, then everything can be free game, I guess. But I'm not trying to stop joking and everything, but there's a time and a place for jokes, and not everything should be a joke. Some things should be treated serious and always with compassion. And so just wanted to make that clear too. But it's just, we really, like I said in the last video, the meaning of life is to become the best version of ourselves, and that's what we have to be helping each other, just focusing on teaching and encouraging so we can help everybody be the best version of themselves. And that way we're the best versions of everybody are helping to build the best version of society. And it's going to be such a great day when we get there. I know it seems like we're far, but we're so close, and we don't have to leave. We're not going to leave anybody behind. Like, we work together. Nobody will be left behind. There's nobody going, as long as if you're still here, you're breathing, your blood's pumping through your veins. Like, we're not leaving you behind. We are going to help you. We're going to lift you up. We're going to show you how to get through your problems. We're going to encourage you through it, and we're just not going to leave you behind. And we're going to get you to the best version of yourself. And we're all going to live in the best version of society, and it is going to be a truly great and glorious day. Praise be to God and Jesus for that. And we're going to get there. I know we're going to get there soon. But I think I've said everything I wanted to say. Man, that's just a tip of the iceberg for mental health. But I just really wanted to hammer out a few main points in this video today, and hopefully everyone was able to keep following along with the analogy with the feet and the shoes and everything, and some of the noises that you may have heard doing this. But hey, it's we're just doing this kind of at doing this on the fly here, so got to deal with different things and noises. But hopefully you're able to stick with me, and kind of follow it along with everything. I really thank everyone for coming along with the ride, and that's the thing. Not everything's going to work out perfect. The devil's always going to be trying to creep up and trip you up and get you to stumble and fall. But we just deal with the best. Just focus on the best things with it. Deal with everything as they come, and we'll get through to the end and smiling and just the best version of ourselves. So thanks to everyone for coming along for the ride. I think I got almost tripped up at the end here, but we got to the end. So we'll see you soon down the road. Much love and God bless. Bruce.